Good morning, good evening, and greetings. Today is going to be the first episode of a new review series called What's in This Cup? And you have one guess because it's an open book test. Today in What's in This Cup, we're taking a look at Nescafe Taster's Choice House Blend. This is going to be a lighter blend of instant coffee. Now, I'm recently on the instant coffee tip because my dear friends, Austin and Jameson, told me about it, and I was very skeptical about getting into instant coffee because they said they only had instant coffee, and I was thinking, oh, that's probably, oh shit, just spilled some. Hold on. But they were like, oh, we only have instant coffee here, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have a terrible time. But then I tried it. They had the Safeway house brand, which is Cafe Casero, which is really good. And I got hooked on that stuff, and I loved how easy it was. And so I thought that I would try it out, because I have a very wide, personally, this is just my opinion of myself and how I drink coffee, but I have a very wide taste range and range of tolerances for coffee. I don't need anything too fancy, but I do very much appreciate like a very good espresso shot, or like some freshly ground coffee in a mocha pot is my personal favorite. So when I found out that I liked this, I was a little bit surprised because my idea of instant coffee was it's really thin. It doesn't really do anything for you. Kind of the drug factor of the coffee is not really there, But I was wrong. So today we have Nescafe Taster's Choice. What they recommend is 1 teaspoon for a 6-ounce cup, 1 heaping teaspoon for an 8-ounce cup, or 2 teaspoons for a 12-ounce cup. Now, my cup is a small cup, and so and I like strong coffee, so I probably did a little bit less than a teaspoon. But I'll show you what the cup looks like. So this is basically what the coffee looks like in the cup. It's a nice looking cup of coffee. The cup is great, but the review is not about the cup, but it is about the cup of coffee. The coffee in the cup looks great. The cup looks great too. And the coffee looks great in conjunction with the cup. Now, if you had, I prepared this coffee a little while ago. So what you didn't see is what I love to see in an instant coffee, which is when you pour it in, you pour in the water and you stir it around and you get this almost crema. You would call it crema, like in espresso. There's like a sort of creamy sort of layer on the top, and that is something that a robust crema, in my mind, is a very solid indicator that you are about to have a good cup of instant coffee. So, I'm just going to take a sip on camera. I've been drinking this for a couple sips, but this is my first cup, and it's pleasantly hot. I don't like to drink my coffee like super hot. I like to drink it at sort of like a medium hot temperature, above lukewarm, but not piping hot. Piping hot, I cannot abide by a piping hot cup of coffee. So, here we go. This is Nescafe Taster's Choice, and it's I'm going to take a sip. Yeah, it's a very nice temperature, but that's not dependent on the coffee. There may be some scientific sort of like things about how different types of coffee handle heat and taste in the heat, but that's not my bag. It tastes pretty good. I think what my friend Austin told me was that if you go for a instant coffee that is a dark blend, you're more likely to be disappointed. And so this one I did intentionally go for a light roast, which is my preference in coffees overall. So I'm gonna keep drinking it. Yeah, I feel like there's this taste. Maybe it has to do with the flash freeze process, but there is like an undertone taste that I've noticed consistently in instant coffees. And it definitely is not necessarily a negative, but it definitely does clock the coffee as instant coffee, in a way that, you know, it's like when you're eating a Little Debbie, or you know, it's like you take a bite and you know that this was not, it was not baked in a loving kitchen nearby. It has a certain sort of like willing artificiality to it that you have to accept. I think that I'm okay with that. But it's nice. It's nice. You know, it feels like a full cup of coffee. You know, this is like, I'm not really sure what time it is, but I think it's probably around 8 p.m., which is my favorite cup of coffee of the day. The 8 p.m. coffee is one to be cherished above all others, in my opinion. And, but yeah, so that's also adding to it. There's a nice sunset. It's a calm environment right now. And it's kind of a good feeling to be just sitting here, like, drinking a little bit of coffee. So yeah, my final verdict on the Taster's Choice. It's a lot better than the Kroger brand, which is called just One of the Perks. There's one Kroger brand that's called One of the Perks. This instant coffee is a bad high. I think you should avoid it at all costs. One of the Perks, the Kroger brand. This is undrinkable. If you drink it first thing in the morning, you need a second cup and you'll have a terrible day. So stay away from the Kroger brand, which is called One of the Perks. Nestle Taster's Choice. Now this thing cost me about $10, about $10.50, but it says it can make about 100 cups. So if you do the math, then that's about 10 cents a cup, right? 10, like 1 cent, 1,000 cents and $10. So that's about 10 cents a cup, okay? So that's fine. That's fine. You know, it's not the dirt cheapest, you know, like whatever Kroger brand, like non-instant coffee, that's probably the most cheapest thing you can get. But this is still really cheap. 10 cents a cup is still really good. And since I'm using small cups, it might even go further. So, but then you just have to drink multiple cups sometimes. But yeah, so I mean, I think this is an economical choice. It is also the Taster's Choice. And I'm happy to have made it my choice today at the grocery store, because it's lovely. You know, it's just fine. It's gonna be quick. There's no fuss. There's no method. Like, there's really something to be said for how vulgar and quick the process of instant coffee is, and how it feels so good to stir it when you are drinking instant coffee. Okay, well, that's everything I have to say about Taster's Choice. Sorry for the noise in the background. It's a hot house and we have a lot of air conditioning units. So that has been the first episode of What Is in This Cup. And you know, if this one it pops off, it's a huge major success, then I'll probably continue this. But if it is a total failure, then it's best to be forgotten about, most likely.